Dear friends, welcome to another session of the Woodpecker Method. We will solve tactical puzzles to increase our awareness, our capacity to calculate and visualize chess positions. So hopefully when we play, it will help us to find the better moves and enjoy chess even more. So in the first situation is black to move. Let's look what's going on here. Black to move, black to move. So what I first recognized, the b2 bishop and the g7 bishop in the same diagonal. B2 bishop is unprotected. Yeah. And the e3 pawn is hanging actually, because it's attacked 2 times and just defended once. But I think the more important is the b2 bishop is hanging, because black plays pawn d3, it attacks the e2 bishop and the b2 bishop in the same time. So white need to deal with the b2 bishop. So bishop takes g7, then pawn takes e2. Actually, black wins also bishop and double attacks the rook. So he wins a piece at the end. Because he takes the rook, then black gets a queen, recaptures, and in the end, black won a piece. That's it, wonderful. Let's go for the next one. Black to move. Black to move. The white king looks like in trouble. Yeah, wow, actually this is a really nice checkmate. Rook f1 check, king takes f1, queen e1 checkmate. Nice one. Let's go for the next one. White to move, white to move. What should white do? Interesting. White pieces looks kind of loosey to rook's bishop, but bishop a6 is the move. White is up a piece actually, so if he can consolidate the situation, he will win. And bishop a6 is the move, because the queen and the rook is hanging, so he should do something about that, not lose the h1. Bishop a6 is good, because if bishop takes a6, then queen a8 checkmate. Other way, if pawn b7 is hanging, so he should play something maybe like c6, and then we exchange bishops, and with the extra bishop, hopefully we win. So let's look if that's it. Yeah. So if something like c6, then yeah, just take it. And white is up a piece. Okay. Let's go for the next one. White to move again. So, actually a6 pawn is attacked and defended once. The rook is there to penetrate, so knight takes a6, bishop takes a6, and the king is also in the same rank like the bishop, so it makes possible rook b6 check, winning back the piece and up a pawn. That's it. White to move again. What's going on here? Black has an extra pawn, but his rooks are loosey. Also, the knight is hanging. Okay, so one pretty straightforward thing is rook takes f8, to get the bishop, and then take the knight to get the bishop and the knight for the rook. Which I think should be fine here. Yeah, two pieces are better than the rook. Next one, black to move. Wow, this is again relative easy stuff. If you look always if there are knights, you should look for the forks, and the knight would give a fork on e3 for the queen and the king. And to clear the e3 square, we take the f4 knight. Queen takes f4, pawn takes f4, knight e3 check. Wins the queen. Nice. Let's do that. And white to move. White to move. What would you do with white here? That's a good question. The king looks like in problem. The queen has some problems, I think. The king has some problems. Yeah, there is a nice checkmate, which I'm not sure if it works. Queen h6 check. If king takes h6, that's kind of like a back rank mate, because the knight covers the g7 and g5 squares. The rook h1 would be a checkmate. Yeah, this looks good actually. If king goes back to g8, then rook c8 check, rook f8, and then rook takes f8, checkmate. Yeah, this is a nice checkmate. Check and checkmate. Let's go for the next one, black to move. So if you take a look on the position, actually white has an extra pawn. Black has those super strong rooks. The d8 rook is unprotected, which can be also something to use. Yeah, for me, my first idea would be just rook takes g2, rook takes g2, and queen e4 to attack again the g2, because he cannot really protect it. He can't really protect it, but he can play queen a7 check, bishop f7, and he can come back to g1 with the queen to protect it. Okay, so let's move not the thing. I recognize. Okay, queen takes g1, king takes g1, rook takes g2 check. Yeah, because the bishop, so the two rooks and the bishop can checkmate white. King h1, then rook h2 check, king g1, the c2 rook goes to g2, king f1, and here comes the move, bishop b5. Queen d3, bishop takes d3, king e1, and then rook g1 and rook h1 checkmate. Okay. Wow. This was nice. Let's go and look next one. White to move. White to move. What would you do with white? Mhm. Mhm. So, any ideas? Actually, one thing which I recognize this, because his position looks quite okay, but something like pawn f5, actually, because that bishop, yeah, actually f5, bishop takes f5, rook e7, queen need to move and he cannot protect anymore the bishop. That's it. Wow. That's it. Wow. Okay, yeah, the way it looked kind of hard to proceed, but that's it. Okay, white to move. What's going on here? Yeah, actually, white is up a piece, up a bishop, but black has a strong bishop-queen combo with the threat of queen g2 checkmate. Maybe to gain time, bishop takes g6 looks like a good idea. Bishop takes g6, rook takes g6, rook e7 check. And that will lead to a checkmate. King g8, queen takes g6 and then queen g7 checkmate. Or if bishop takes g6 check, if king g8 then queen takes d8 and that will be a checkmate. If king h8 then queen takes d8, rook g8, then coming back to f6 check, rook f7 and then rook e8 and that wins is the queen. Okay. Okay, that's it. Check. This would also win. Okay, let's go forward. Black to move. What would you do with black here? What should we recognize? The material is equal. 6 against 6 pawns. The black king is a little bit safer than the white king. Ah, yeah. So one important idea is actually d4 is attacked and defended once, but then the d2 bishop is also, the c3 pawn is kind of pinned to the queen. So rook takes h1, queen takes h1, knight takes d4. If pawn takes d4, then queen takes d2. Okay, and this should be winning for black, I think, with the two pieces against the rook. Okay, black to move again. Huh. That's interesting. This looks like maybe a... So white is up 2 pawns, so probably would be winning if there is no magic things here. Yeah, stalemate. This looks like queen takes h6. If king takes h6, that's a stalemate actually. Yeah, and if he's not taking, then probably it will be just a draw that game. Yeah. Huh. Wow. So with just 1 pawn down, it would be a draw because the king is in front of the pawn. But so king f5 would go forward, but that would be still a draw. Okay, black to move, black to move. So one thing I recognize is like the forking post knight b3 fork. The pawn can take, so that's maybe not the thing to consider. Material wise, 5 against 6, so black has an extra pawn. Both kings are kind of vulnerable. The g2, g5 queen is hanging. Yeah, first I was just thinking like maybe something like bishop takes a2. If knight takes, then knight b3 is the queen. If it's not taking it, then still he's in a bad shape. Maybe because knight b3 check king c2, and that king is a little bit in danger. Like bishop b3 would was some move, because white cannot take because knight takes, and that's gonna fork. What else? Knight d3 check, he just takes it. Yeah, white's like g2 bishop is unprotected, but probably cannot really do much about that. So my bishop takes a2, queen takes d6. But no, then we take on g3 with the pawn and the rook and h4 is hanging. Okay, so that's it. Okay, yeah, that's it. So they did not really examine the other possibilities of what will happen here. Okay, yeah, that's it. Let's go forward again. White to move, yeah. Rook d8 check, queen takes d8, queen takes c3, queen f6, queen takes f6 checkmate, that's it. The other way wins the queen if he moves out. Let's go for the next one. Black to move, black to move. So materials equal. d4, so d5 is hanging. Probably that's the move. Actually, knight takes d5. It's a fork. If rook takes f7, the bishop takes d4 check, and then knight takes b4. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's winning. Yeah, like if knight takes d8, then this check is the winning move with the checkmate idea. Let's look again. So black to move now. Yeah, the d3 queen is hanging. Actually, bishop takes h2 check and wins the queen. Just to discover the attack. Let's go forward. Black to move again. Queen takes c4, knight takes c4, knight e2 check. Is the exchange. white to move to be very efficient, because also yeah. So white king is also kind of under attack. So white has an extra piece. Ooh, this is nice. Bishop takes g7, pawn takes queen and pawn f6, and then rook h8 checkmate is coming. Wow. Wow, this is nice. Let's go for the next one. Black to move. Actually, black already has an extra piece, so they're winning a pawn. Where knight takes e3, so to checkmate on g2. And if queen takes e3, then bishop takes c4, winning back piece. That looks like one idea. That's it, I think. So this one more pawn. Okay, white to move, white to move. Knight takes d4, rook takes d4, knight f6, discord attack. Wow, this was nice. So let's look what's going on here. White to move. My first idea is bishop takes c5, pawn b4. And then bishop, so we win a pawn and win the game probably also. Very super strong pawns there. And queen c2. It's pinned. Okay, let's go forward. Black to move. What would you do here? What would you do? That's the $1,000,000 question. Probably white just captured the knight on c6. If black recaptures, then bishop takes g4, knight takes g4. Stone checkmate on h2, h3, and bishop d6. And that's it, because the knight cannot be captured because queen h2 checkmate. So that would be a way to save the... But is there more than just saving? That's the question. If bishop takes e2 maybe, then knight takes e7 check, king h8. Yeah, it looks not bad, because that knight on e7 looks kind of trapped. So maybe just that looks actually powerful. Ooh, no, bishop d6 immediately. Oh. Okay, this is the tool. Because it's so sitting with checkmate instead. Okay, immediately, yeah, I missed this one. Bishop d6. And then take on it, and then the f1. This is the same plan which I fought, but yeah, keeping the bishop. Yeah, what if this one? Check here. Ah, knight f5 immediately possible. Ooh, and look then, and now knight g3. Yeah, this is not easy to look forward. This intermediate move. Okay, so this is why that's not a good idea, but bishop d6 immediately. Okay, let's go maybe one more, or if it's very easy, then two more. Ooh, this is nice. Rook takes f6. If queen takes, then knight h5. Fork. If king takes, then bishop takes g5. Nice. Okay, let's go one more. Black to move. Black to move. Queen d4 check. King h1. Queen f2. This is nice. Yeah, it takes them to checkmate on. Just to make sure, and one more. Let's go for one more. Black to move. Yeah, this back rank motif. Again, knight d3. If the rook takes, then queen a1. Other way, we need the exchange. Wow, this is nice. And got the check and the checkmate. Okay, hope you enjoyed the combinations which we explored, and we'll see you very soon. And thank you for your support, for subscribing, for donation, for bits, and for following. Bye bye.